What's up, guys? I don't have a guitar with me, and that's kind of what this video is about. I wanted just to talk about how we could practice or improve at guitar when you don't have a guitar with you. We're going to be talking about how we can improve our technique, songwriting, music theory, ear training, or aural skills. Aural skills.
Oral, sometimes aural.
Aural skills, you could practice just about anything. We're also going to look at some little gadgets and things. Now first, I just want to say I don't think that everyone needs to practice 24/7 or anything like that. We shouldn't make guitar feel like work. We're going to have a lot of things in our lives that we're going to need to do all the time that we're not going to want to do. So just keep guitar fun, keep it keep it fun. But if you're not going to have a guitar with you and you want to practice, or if maybe if you have a guitar related job and you need to meet a deadline for something, there are a lot of things that we could do. Now my first tip I'll probably get a little bit of hate for because it seems so obvious, but I really think it's probably the most important one, is you just have to get creative. You have to try to think of ways for yourself. You're all going to have different skills, different knowledge, different strengths, different weaknesses, different goals. So what might help you might not help the next guy. And if you just stopped the video right now and started trying to think of ways, I bet you could think of ways. You probably already know some things that you can practice. And if you do think of something cool, put them down in the comments. I would like to see them. Okay, the next one. What about practicing music theory or music theory skills? We could be studying instructional material, books, magazines, videos. They make different apps that you can get on your phone where you can study all kinds of different things. Whatever you're currently learning about, just you can study it on the go. You could practice finding the notes on a picture of a guitar neck. You can even just practice thinking of all these things in your head and going over them in your head. What notes are in your scales? How many sharps or flats are in all the keys? What are the notes in your chords? What is the fifth note in all of your scales? What is the third and fourth, and so on. So basically anything you're learning about, you could think about it or study it. Your aural skills, ear training, developing your ear. You could try singing scales or singing arpeggios. You can even just try to listen to music and try to make sense of what you're hearing. What techniques do you recognize? What instruments are being used? What chords are being played? Are they major chords or minor chords? Are they power chords? You get the idea with that, just anything that you recognize. That's a part of ear training. You could try to sing scales or sing notes from scales. You can make recordings of you playing your scales and try to sing along to them. You can make recordings of you playing your arpeggios and your scales and listen to them and try to sing those notes. You could even make a recording of you strumming a chord and trying to pick out specific notes from that chord. And there's all kinds of different apps and CDs and that kind of thing that you can buy too. Next tip, songwriting. You could practice songwriting on the go. You could practice coming up with melodies or guitar riffs in your head. And one cool thing about doing that is sometimes you might make up something a little bit more unique because you're not playing with your fingers. You're thinking musically instead of just what your fingers are able to do. If you like to write lyrics, you could think of those on the go. And another one that's really cool is you could put on a song, like you could put on your favorite song and try to analyze all the different elements of music in it. Like maybe one element is called form, and that's kind of like the structure of a song. So you could try to learn how did they structure their song. Did they go verse, chorus, interlude, chorus, outro? And it's really good to learn how other people made their songs so you can decide if you want to do similar things or if you want to do the exact opposite. Next one, rhythm skills. There's all kinds of different things. You can tap a pen on a desk, try to come up with cool rhythms. You could practice your sight reading and try to clap or tap out the rhythms that you see. You can even just tap your foot along to music that you like, and we can work on building your timing and building that pulse, building your rhythm. Next tip, improvisation. There's probably lots of different things that you could do to practice your improvisation on the go. How about just listening to a backing track, or maybe listening to some chords that you recorded and just trying to improvise melodies with your voice. You could sing vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, and U, and improvise. And then the last one, technique. We can even work on the physical technique of playing a guitar if you don't have a guitar with you. Now some people do take guitars with them on the go, and they do make smaller travel size guitars, I have this one right here, and it's a little bit hard to play. I'm just kidding, guys. This is a Christmas ornament my friend gave me, but it's really realistic, and I thought it was pretty cool. Sorry, I don't have a travel guitar, but I do have some of those different practice necks. I'll show you those in a second. But first, if you don't have a practice neck, you can practice just on the back of your forearm. You could practice doing different trills. You could practice stretching out your fingers with different finger independence exercises. If you're driving, you could practice doing some exercises on your steering wheel. Years ago, I had a friend who told me he used to take his pick and he would practice picking on the pocket of his jeans. And if you play with your pocket for a minute, you actually can get a pretty realistic feeling tension on there. So it's better than you might think. They make different hand strengthening gadgets. I'm not really into those. You don't really need a lot of strength. You need to get more agility on guitar than anything. And for the practice necks, I have 3 different ones. I really only use the one now. But before I show the cool one, here's the first one that I had. It's still in the original plastic. They said don't get it wet. It's basically a piece of foam. I think I had this for maybe like 10 or 15 years. It's not pretty, but it did what you would think it would do. And then about a year or so ago, one of my students brought in this one. And this guitar neck, this one was only about $20. You see it fits in your pocket, you pull it out. It has real strings on it. And this thing was so much better than that piece of foam that I had. And I was actually reading some bad reviews for this. And the whole time I'm thinking, you jerks. I'm like, do you realize I had a piece of foam for 10 years? And but anyway, this thing, I love this thing. You can change the strings in it. It's made of real wood. For the price, you can't beat it. And you can even practice your strumming hand on it. It's not the most realistic thing. And no, it's not as good as a guitar, but it's better than a piece of foam. I was so happy to actually have one with real strings that I decided to look into kind of like the better ones, and I ended up getting one of these. It comes in you can't keep it in your pocket, so that would be a downside to this, but it comes in a nice case. It's a shred neck, and this one, here's my pick. This one lets you work on both hands at the same time. I'm not sure if the camera can see, but this part actually wedges up against your leg, and you can practice your picking. You can do all of your picking exercises on there. You can turn these tuning pegs and adjust the tension of the strings. You can replace the strings. It doesn't play actual notes. If you try to hold a note and you pick it, it's not going to make hardly very much noise. And you can practice just about anything on this neck. A lot of times, though, I find myself liking to work on each hand separately. Like, I'll hold it out here in a comfortable position and work on, like, scales or maybe some trills with this hand. And then I'll also bring it in close and just work on different picking exercises, separately. Alright guys, that's it. Hopefully this video helps you out a little bit. I'm hoping it can help some people that don't have a lot of extra time to practice. Get a hold of me on social media. If you guys have different requests for songs, let me know that too. And yeah, I'll just see you guys next time.